My cousin Ryan, who's standing right behind me in this photo, he sent this to me, and I always remember these weekends up in upstate. It's Wellsboro, Pennsylvania. That's where this was at, and this was the downtown grid that all the cars that were involved in the rally, in the Wellsboro STPR rally, would park. And I think this was my first weekend up there, and I think I was kind of caught in the moment of like marveling at this car, because I think I recognized the sponsor first of all. It was Domino's Pizza. And so but yeah, I didn't even know this picture existed. I had never seen it. Yeah, this was like my first exposure to racing. And it's funny because I always felt that I didn't have like a good origin story or a good origin photo with racing and everything. And I think a lot of people end up categorizing, you know, my racing ventures as going from one adrenaline-filled sport to another, but that's not necessarily how I feel about it. Yeah, I feel connected to the sport in some way because my grandfather was the one that took me up to those races, and it was a special place for all the guys to go and you know, bet on the cars and wait for them to come around. And it was always the best to wait on the headlights, and before you even saw the headlights coming around the bend, you would hear the cars echoing through the trees. And so yeah, I have a lot of fond young memories of that, and that's what this is, the STPR rally in Wellsboro.
Giant. You see the look in my eyes, I'm the phoenix arising. I clash with the titans, every valley I climbed out. Live what I believed, every mountain I broke down.
Once I told them that I was gonna forego doing a whole amateur SCCA season and jump into TA2, even after I had won the runoffs, they're like, man, they're gonna eat you alive. And I said, yeah, well, that's the point, you know, until they don't. Effort and all those other things that come behind it, and all the things that are telling me and telling others that I shouldn't be doing this. It makes me want to do it more, but I know I'm going to have to sweat to get there.
Yeah, no. Come on! Come on! Here's the mic! Here's the mic!
Yeah, so I tried to write something. I never imagined that an Instagram post would then turn into a speech at a banquet, but here goes. In 2024, I joined the Q3 Architecture TA2 Series because Mike Skeen challenged me. He challenged me to be a real driver, be a wheelman. I don't know if I'm there just yet, but today's accomplishment feels like a massive step in that direction. I guess I'll call Mike after this and see what he has to say. But I'm beginning to realize that there's always a faster lap, a better car, a stickier tire out there, but today was an accomplishment of a 2-year journey to being a Trans Am Pro-Am champion. There's no way I could have achieved this without TRBR Sport and Troy's guidance, Mike Skeen's challenge, Evan Slater's persistence, Black Underwear's support, Cool Box's engineering, Thomas's tough love, Ed's wisdom, Vincent's grilling, Mike's notes, Putt's jokes, Rick's resourcefulness, Barry Bose's dedication, and Scott Adams' heart. The M1 SLR chassis was amazing, and my season changed when I decided to drive their piece to the top of the class.
Thank you, Scott. I know the series is geared towards developing young talent, but I can't help but feel that I'm a part of that development. I'm super grateful to be in a series with the young guns who are dedicated to developing themselves and the young men and professional drivers. Having this opportunity to race with and against them makes me feel like my previous life as a football player actually has meaning. Whenever someone young or old asks me about my preparation or lifestyle that carries over into racing, and I'm able to impart a story or an insight from my previous experience, I'm gifted with a sense of fulfillment. After walking away from the game that I played my whole life, I spent 5 years after football trying to get further and further away from it. I got to a point where it felt like I dedicated my life to a game that turned into an industry, and eventually that industry spit me out after my body and soul had nothing else to give. Aside from the professional compensation, at times it felt empty, and that I was breaking my legs, my feet, my hands, and my heart for an industry and its expectations and not my own. Then racing appeared. I chose racing because it brought a familiar sense of seasonal structure, but a fresh sense of discipline in my life that wasn't asked of me within football. In football, I was rewarded for my anger. I was rewarded for playing violently and beating my chest in pride. So far, I've noticed that these are all attributes that get you beat when behind the wheel. These past 4 years, I found great humility in doing something that my body isn't necessarily designed to do. And the past few years of racing in this series, I found a paddock and a culture that incentivizes me to put aside my previous accolades and to start over again and relinquish my pride. And for that amount of perspective and support, I'm forever grateful. Thank you, Trans Am. Thank you, Cube 3. And last but not least, I want to thank my family that's in attendance, who has supported me throughout every athletic endeavor of my life. And to my wife, Crystal, who makes me a better person and driver every day.